Hey, Dan here, and we have an Ask Dan question, well, three questions in one, about being a freelance writer, about this digital nomad thing, moving to Asia, and specifically Thailand. Should you move first? As well as the best ways to build your freelance writing career, and whether or not speaking English as your native language is a big hindrance if you want to become a freelance copywriter. So let's start with it. I'm not going to read you the full question because it's very long and can be a little confusing in a few parts. So I'll just highlight some parts here. In one of your podcasts, you mentioned that in order to get clients, you need to hang out around people to build a network. Simply put, you need a solid base, a big city where you want to stay forever. So yes and no, stay for longer. So this comes from Oscar, by the way, in Poland, but I think he's in Barcelona right now. You are jumping to a conclusion on the big city you want to stay for longer. So having a network is important. Business is about people. I've made videos on this before. Just because you're working online, do not get confused and think we are all robots or numbers or just email addresses. People are very important for business. So your network is really important. If you are currently living in a city that you've lived in for a couple years or your whole life, I would highly recommend staying there and building your business initially, because it's a lot easier when you know people, you have connections, and you're familiar with the culture to build a business, just any kind of business for that matter. If you are already out of your home city and you're already traveling or something like that, there's no reason you can't also build a network with people you meet along the way. Hey, you're in New York, great, go to some meetups, make some friends, make connections that way, that sort of thing. So the human element is very important. Knowing people, having those kind of connections. You don't have to stay in the same city, especially if you are in a city you're not originally from anyhow. You can make connections other ways. In fact, when I started traveling, arguably, I had a good home base back in Vancouver, but when I was traveling, I also made a lot of connections with people that did become clients as well. So you can get it on both sides there. The second question is basically, should I head to Asia now? Should I move to Thailand specifically and get down to work, kind of gradually becoming a copywriter, but also be traveling and doing that whole thing, the digital nomad thing? Or should I get really serious about it now, build my business, and then go? I would say get serious about it, build your business, and then go. It's a lot better. I would say do that. Spend a year where you are and build your business and then make that move. Other people would probably argue the other thing. I don't know, but that would be my take, is get serious first, get your business going, and then make the move. And let's see. Last question is, do you think it's a big obstacle to write copies in English without being native speaker? So because there were, and I don't want to be an ass here, but because there were two grammatical mistakes in that question, then I would say yes. And it doesn't mean you can't become a copywriter in English if you're not a native English speaker, but it is a challenge that you'll really need to up your game on. So that will mean reading a lot more, studying more than a native speaker would have to be, and really working on your spoken English as well, because likely you'll meet with clients over Skype or the phone, and that will play into it. So writing is one of the few gigs where being a native English speaker is, I would say, important. It doesn't mean you can't do it, but you just have to be aware of that. I would consider doing some work in your native language as well. There's no reason. I know the English-speaking economies are much larger and probably pay better than the Polish economies, but the Polish economy is not actually that bad. And if you know the culture and you know the language much better, it might be a better place to start in and get experience, get steady clients and that kind of thing, and then gradually work with English-speaking clients. Because I haven't read your copywriting and that, it could be incredible, but my guess is if you're good at English, but not native yet, like really, really fluent, is the amount you could earn copywriting for English companies will probably be the same as what you could earn writing for Polish companies, because you're not going to be able to get the really good copywriting gigs in English because your English is not 100% bang on. Because thing with copywriting is it's not enough to know the language. You need to know it and then know how to play with it and manipulate it and kind of go to that next level. So there's a lot to learn there. So definitely possible. Do not stop in this direction, but just know that it will be a journey. And I think you might be better building your base in your native language first, and then making that transition and adding in some English. Thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed this, if you're interested in working for yourself, personal growth, travel, all that sort of thing, subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you in another video soon. Ciao.